Today did not quite go the way that I had planned, given the fact that I was up sick half the night. And even though I got up around 7:30 and tried to push through it, that didn't help at all. Because there was some confusion with the utilities, they shut off my water, so I don't have any water in the house right now. Because when you buy a house that's been foreclosed on, stuff slips through the cracks. And one of the things that slipped through the cracks was the fact that the bill that I was getting monthly was for sewer, not water. So we're gonna get that fixed, and it will be fine. Not a great thing to come home to yesterday after fighting and getting my arm thwacked. The solution to arm thwackage is the new armor that I'm making already. I'm just having to modify the gambeson pattern that I had already designed and patterned and cut out. So I'm gonna have to start over on the sleeves at least, but also on the arms because the arms' eyes need to change shape now. There's a one shot that gets me on both arms, and it's the space where the deltoid meets the bicep. There's like a triangle, there's like a delta where the deltoid coming down like this meets the two halves of the bicep like that, and right here in the middle where all three of those meet, there's an exposed nerve. And I don't have muscle mass or a fatty layer to speak of. So that place where the three muscle groups meet over bone, and the nerve there that the tendon is connected to that allows you to grip your hand and flex your arm, when that gets hit, I can't move my arm or grip anything. And that has happened like once a month, every other month since I started fighting, even though I have padding there. Because the padding moves as I'm fighting, and that sucks. But I was making new armor for myself this year anyway. Got a new helmet thanks to Duke Tristram, which I have part 3 of the helmet series coming out. And then I have the gambeson that I'm working on. And then I'm getting new arms, hopefully by Lily's War. That's in the works. But who knows? It's just chaos right now. It's frustrating because when that happens, I have to be done for the night. It takes several hours for my arm to stop hurting enough for me to use it comfortably. And if I get hit in the arm at 7:15, I can't fight again before 9 because I can't grip anything securely enough to fight safely. So my night ends. And from what I can understand, that isn't really a problem for anyone else. Based on what I've seen, I haven't, like at my local practice, because I am probably the skinniest of our fighters. I just don't have the muscle mass yet. We're working on that. Which brings me to, I'm going to be doing minimum 2 blogs a week here with the horizontal people. As a part of the 75 hard thing that I'm doing. 75 hard challenge is supposed to be 75 days of an intense workout regimen that helps like get you super fit and healthy and trains discipline and all this stuff. And I looked at it and I went, that's not sustainable for me. In large part because I struggle a lot with physical health and mental health, and my schedule is mutable, and the 75 strong as it is formatted does not take into account menstrual cycles, hormone changes, etc. So I modified it and I edited it and I'm chronicling it and I'm working on it, but it's not going to be 75 days. The biggest difference for my version of the 75 strong versus what the standard is you don't start over on failure days. Failure is a strong word, but it's when you don't do XYZ, You don't hit all of the goals in a day. You're supposed to start over back at 0. You're supposed to go 75 days in a row without messing up. But I'm not wanting to get fit in 3 months. I'm wanting to build sustainable habits that are healthy and supportive of my lifestyle. So that's what we're doing. So today I was sick. I did not do my morning yoga. I did not do an hour of exercise. I did not do my Qigong because it involves jumping and it was going to make me throw up. I did read. I meditated a little bit. I tried to because I was not feeling well. I read a lot today. And I still have time to write and to meditate and do some gentle yoga this evening if I need to. I still ate. But I'm not considering that a failure because I was sick and my body wasn't working and I still did what I could. And that's the important part. Because what I'm building is sustainable lifestyle habits, and that includes resting your body when it's sick and giving it the space it needs to heal. So, this weekend we're going camping, so I'm going to be setting up a tent, tearing down a tent, walking around a whole bunch. I'm not counting my steps or my calories, but I am going to get all my steps in on Saturday, if you know what I mean. It's going to be a grand old time. I'm frustrated because of the situation I'm in right now. In the morning, we'll call the water department and hopefully they'll send somebody out to fix it tomorrow because it's easy enough to fix. We just pay down the balance and then arrange for them to come out and do it. Turn it back on. They can turn it off when I'm not here. They should be able to turn it on when I'm not here. So I'll have water. And even if they can't come out tomorrow to do it and they have to wait till Monday, I'm going to be on a campground all weekend. So it's not like I'll need it until Sunday night. And I can always shower at Gwendolyn's house. So, I finished book 1 of Fablehaven. Read it in 2 days, which is more like who I used to be. I'm on to book 2, Rise of the Evening Star. If you haven't checked it out already, they are backing pressed flowers in my book. That's a fun surprise. Look, it's baby's breath that I pressed a long time ago. Look at how flat that is. Oh, wow. It looks cool against my wall. Look at that. Do I need to get a giant fake flower for the wall? We'll check it out in the green room. But if you haven't checked it out, Brandon Mull, the author, it has got a movie in the works. They've got the first script written out. They're backing it, and we hit our goal in 48 hours for backing the first film. Everything after that is showing that it's a 5-book series. It's a complete 5-book series. The first one came out in like 2007. No, the second one came out in 2007. But it's a great story. It's fast-paced. It's accessible. It's aimed at a middle school reading level, which is why I read the entire book in 2 days. But each book gets thicker and darker as you enter the world of, like, spoilers, but it's about magical creatures. And these 2 kids who are like 11 and 14 respectively, coming into this world that their grandparents are a part of, and discovering everything that goes in with it, the good, the bad, the magical, and mischievous. The way that the fantasy world building works is amazing. I can go back now and read the first book as like an adult and as an author and see the seeds that are being planted for books 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like, there's little clues in the first book about stuff that happens in the 5th book. Little clues, not like, oh, we're obviously seeding the larger plot of the series here, but like actually like little references to things that aren't even a real thing yet. I enjoy it. But I've moved on to the second book, which is, I think, the scariest book. I remember the first time I read Fablehaven, the first book, during the bad night that happens. I'm trying to talk about this without there being spoilers. And me reading it over the summer at my grandmother's house in the night, being so terrified of what was about to happen in the book and the suspense and the horror of it that I had to stop reading it because it was dark and I was afraid even with the lights on because it was dark outside my window and we were in the Ozarks, and I was like, oh God, the creatures in the book are gonna get me. And I was like 12, 11, 12. It was a good book. They're all good books. And like it goes over the course of like the first book is one summer, the second book is the next summer, the third book is the end of that same summer, and then the fourth book is in the winter of that same year, and then the fifth book is like over the course of the next year. So it's fast paced. I mean, our protagonists are like 17 at her oldest and 14 at his oldest. And we meet them as an 11, like he's 11. Seth is an 11-year-old who is very good with maps and compasses. And you get to watch them grow up and change and be shaped by the magical world that they are also shaping, and it's cool. So if you haven't checked out the starter, Kickback starter, or whatever it's, Kickstarter, go check it out. If you haven't read the books, read them. They're amazing. You can get the audiobook on YouTube, on Spotify. They're really high quality. I read them in 2 days. The font is big, right? It's not dense, complicated reading. You know, it's not the Magic Treehouse, but it's you know, a little bit, it's in there with Percy Jackson, I'd say, as far as complexity goes. Hello, dear. My cat is in my lap. So I'm gonna eat more, because making sure that I eat 3 squared meals a day is on the list for success in this project. Snacks and stuff are also good, but I need to be eating 3 meals, and what those meals look like and composition of those things are dependent on my chemicals and my hormones, which I have a full recipe book. They're a sheet of ingredients and vitamins that I need to be taking and stuff like that, but I'm also less sick right now, and so I need to be supplementing that with things that are going to help me feel better, like vitamin C and vitamin D and garlic. Wet socks, but there's no water. But I'm gonna take it easy tonight. Tomorrow gotta go to work, and then gonna go to the grocery store and get the food that I need, and then scamper off to the campsite. It's a 3-hour drive for me. So I'll get there around 8:30. We'll set up camp, Viking A-frame, easy as hell. Set up our camp, go to sleep, have a good fucking time. It's Crown Tournament for the Kingdom of Callantir for all my SCA friends. I have a lot of friends who are fighting. A lot of friends who are fighting. Big list. I have no clue how it's gonna go. I don't use divination for Crown Tournament. I refuse to. In 2019, I had a full-blown oracular vision, and I knew with certainty Lucian was going to win. And I called it, and they were like, okay. And then he won, and I was like, never fucking question me again. When someone did ask me, well, who's going to win this time? The image I was given of 4 warriors, each a different color, and the paths laid out before them, narrowed the field a lot. I knew who was going to make semifinals, but I had no clarity on who would win. When I asked later how invested the spirits I was in contact with were in this shit, they were like, we are interested in the people, not in the petty politics of your make-believe kingdoms. And I was like, that's valid. That's fair. They were like, it's the inspiration and the actions, not the accolades or the accoutrement. And I'm like, okay, Apollo, damn. And I did once try to draw lots and see if we could figure out who was going to win. And in retaliation, I had night terrors all night, and my runes didn't work for 6 months. As in, I couldn't draw anything other than the weird rune out of the bag, and if I cast runes, they were all face down. Yeah, don't. So I don't use divination. I don't ask. I don't try to guess. I don't do any of that for Crown Tournament. It also doesn't feel respectful or fair to the fighters to show up and be like, I know who's gonna win. I believe that we get to carve out our own fate rather than it being in the hands of anyone. There are people who have a fate for them, but I believe that our actions shape our destiny more than anything. This got very witchy. I'm not sorry. I'm very sick, and this is a stream of consciousness vlog rather than a project vlog like a lot of mine have been. Ow! That hurt! She scratched the crap out of me. I don't know why I'm wearing a blanket and a tank top. I could just go put on a hoodie, but it's not the same. Anyway, getting tattoo work done this weekend as well. It's going to be a good time. The car's mostly packed. I have to load up the clothing and the cooler and the food, but I won't get the food until tomorrow, so it's fine. I have everything else that we need because my brother is coming up from Springfield, so I'm bringing garb for him, and then I'm also bringing a change of garb for me because I need to wear Viking in the morning, but it's going to be hot, so I might change midway through the day because oh, and I need to find that other dress. Where did I put that other dress? Okay, sorry, I just remembered something important. Yeah, I'm gonna cook over a campfire again. The one at Penzic went so, not Penzic, God. The one at Gulf did so well. I do good. Me, yeah, proud self. Me good. I proud me. I was brought Wendy's because I hadn't eaten in like 20 hours and I was attacked with food. So that's, yeah. This is not the let's do 75 hard challenge first blog that I wanted it to be, but you know, fate goes ever as it must. So it is what it is. I'm not sugarcoating, hiding, disguising, or glazing anything to be anything less than it is. Today sucked. The first 4 days of this challenge have been very difficult, and I haven't gotten very far. But I have done more than half of what I set out to do every single day, and that feels good. And even on a day when I was my lowest, I still did things. I didn't sit on my phone all day. I didn't just sleep all day in anguish. I took my time and I packed the car. I got out and stood in the open air and sat on the porch as the sun was going down. I read my book rather than doom scrolling. I, did a little bit of art. I did a little bit of scrapbooking. I'm working on a little miniature project. I packed. I still lived even though I was feeling ill, and I'm proud of myself for that. I'll probably have another vlog Sunday that goes up Monday morning or Sunday night. And for me, the consistency is what matters. Even if it's not perfect, doing it every day is what matters. So I'll get the helmet thing up soon because I need to repad it anyway. But it's such a good helmet. She is fierce. And I have a new sword. That's a whole other thing. I have so much going on. You have no idea. It's gonna be a fun spring. We're gonna get a little travel vlog going on. I'm gonna see a bunch of people that I really love. There's good stuff coming. I just have to shake whatever got me yesterday first. Okay. I love you. Bye-bye.